welcome to The Beauty Shaman. So I haven't done a 5-minute makeup for a really long time. So I thought it is time to do a 5-minute makeup on my channel. And one of the reasons of my thinking behind this is that a lot of us are living on Zoom. And so we got to get ready quickly. We got to look professional. We got to do all those things. Plus, maybe you have children at home or, just lots going on in your life that's more based around the home, right? We're not out as much. We're not in society as much because we can't be due to COVID. So I think the quick makeup is taking precedence, as well as, doing eye makeup more. I mean, I'm doing a lot of videos just really trying to speak to our current kind of state of affairs where we're wearing masks and our eyes are sticking out and but you know what I mean? Like the focal point. So today I thought I would go ahead and do a 5-minute makeup. Now, just so you know, I am so not a diva. Like I leave my house with maybe just mascara on. I'm extremely low key. I lead a very low key life. So when I do my big makeup tutorials where I do a really fancy makeup, that's really for special events and things like that. But as a person, I don't tend to do that very much. So I'm much more down the vein of a 5-minute makeup, just for me, okay, just relating here to kind of all of you saying, look, it takes too long or it costs too much or whatever. And I totally get all of those things. So today we're going to really look at the 5-minute makeup and how to best do that. So before we get started, please visit my website at thebeautyshaman.com and use the code SB10 for 10% off everything in my store. And also please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that I can continue making great content on YouTube. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're doing the 5-minute makeup, but before you put makeup on, of course, you have to hydrate your skin. So today I'm going to use some Image products. So this is the Vital C Moisturizer, and this is the Vital C Hydrating Anti-Aging Serum. I love this serum so much. I've done a video recently, I'll put it in the corner here, a review of Image skincare, which I can carry, not carry, but I can drop ship, basically. Now from my website. So you can go to my website and get a link or look down below in the drop down here on YouTube and there's a link there to shop on Image, which is really fabulous. Okay, but we're here to talk about the 5-minute makeup. All right, so I'm going to do a squirt of the Vital C Serum, which I absolutely love. This is like one of my all-time favorites. It's great. Put that all over. All right, and then we're going to do a little bit of moisturizer with the Vital C. This one is Hydrating Repair Cream. So this is for dry skin. Really wonderful. If you have very dry skin, they have a different one for very dry skin. I do not have very dry skin. In fact, I take so many oils in my diet, omega-369 oils. I highly recommend that. I actually can just use a regular moisturizer and I'm fine. So I think that's more what this one is. But you need to hydrate your skin before you put makeup on. Otherwise, your makeup doesn't blend. I'm sure you've noticed this. Like, why does it not blend? It must be the makeup. No, it's your skin. You have to really, really take care of your skin. Number one most important thing as you age is to take care of your skin, which is external and internal. It's both, right? So it's eating the right foods, it's oils, it's drinking water, exercising, like all that stuff. The skin is the largest organ in your body. If you've heard me chant all of this before, sorry, I'm repeating it, but it's super duper important. Okay, so now we're going to go, because it's 5 minutes, I'm not going to do primer. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to go straight to foundation. So I'm going to do my Jane Iredale Liquid Minerals Foundation. Now this one, once I put it on, you're going to say, oh, it's a little dark, but it's because I'm matching my neck. It just dropped on the floor. So I've got, my face is going to always be lighter than my neck because of sunblock. And I'm out in the sun quite a bit. I live in Colorado and I like to run. So I end up getting a lot of sun on my chest and all of that and not so much on my face. So this foundation you have to blend in on your hand. So there's an extra step with this foundation. And I'm just going to use my hands and slather it on. I don't use a lot of brushes when it comes to my own makeup. I'm just not, why? Just use your fingers. When I'm in a studio, that's different, How are you guys doing being stuck at home so much? Doing Zoom meetings and everything being at home, especially during the holidays. I think it can be really challenging. I get really burnt out being on the computer so much and being stuck at home. I find ways to get out. I go hiking. I don't know. Everything's kind of closed now, so it's kind of crazy. But, how are you guys managing with all this? I'd be really curious to know how you're doing. Like, are you getting really burnt out and burdened by it, or is it okay? Are you cool with it? Like, what is this like for you? So, all right, so there is my foundation, and I'm going to pop just a little bit of concealer on. I'm going to use the Amazing Concealer. I do think concealer is good for a 5-minute makeup just because, it makes you look really polished. It's that extra step that really can make a big difference on how put together you look. So I'm just going to plop a little bit right in here. Now, I have a lot of discoloration over my eyes, so I tend to take concealer and I tend to run it over my lid. So if this is up to you. If you have oily lids, I would say, don't do that. If you have dry lids like I do, or drier, not as oily, then I think this works quite well. So, okay, so concealer, foundation, then a little bit of powder is great because it sets it so it doesn't streak. If you're going to use powder, blushes, which I tend to lean towards, so I'm using the Ben Nye Fair. This is obviously a huge jug. It's in my makeup kit, so they have smaller containers of it on Amazon. I have links below for that. I think it only comes in a loose. I know loose can be a little bit irritating. Sometimes some of you want a compact. If you want a compact, then I would say go to get the MAC blot powder. I'll put that down below as well. I love that on set because it's in a compact, so it doesn't get on everything and it absorbs oil and it doesn't set in fine lines. And I really go for very finely created, finely made powders for older women. You just can't have like a foundation powder or a cheap powder because cheap powders tend to not be as finely granulated and it sets in fine lines. So I know that makeup is expensive and we don't want to spend an enormous amount like what I have, right? Because I work in a studio. So I think, obviously kind of figure out what works for you, but I do think getting a more expensive, finer woven powder is really important. So, but by the way, this is not expensive. I think this whole jug cost me $12. So, this is not an expensive product. So keep that in mind. Okay, so next I'm going to just do my eyebrows. So again, we're doing 5 minutes. I don't normally do anything to my eyebrows on a daily basis, but some of you have to fill it in or do, like, this is a brow gel. Some of you have to do that to keep everything kind of from going all over. So I'm adding this step in just because I know that most of you have to fill in your brows or do something. I'm not going to do anything to mine besides this because they're okay at this point. And 5-minute makeups, I tend to not worry about my brows. So, okay. So next I'm actually going to do my lips and then I'm going to go backwards, do everything. So I love this product. This is the Jane Iredale new Lip Stain Matte Lip Fixation. And I'm in love with this. And I carry them all in my bag with me wherever I go because they're just fantastic. They don't rub off on your mask, which is really fabulous. You can put it on, put your mask on, you're good to go. On me, it lasts for like 6 or 7 hours, which is crazy because I eat my lips. I'm a notorious lip eater. I always joke that I have a tree of lipstick growing in my stomach because I'm like, are you like that? Do you like eat your lips? I don't know. I'd love to hear how many of you do that. When I concentrate, I'm like chewing away, it's crazy. So anyway, I'm just going to take, this is Fascination. So I'd love this color. I sell this on my website. So I love, love, love these. I think they're so worth it. But this is just a really, really pretty wearable color for just about anybody. Like, look at this color. It's beautiful. Goes on really easily. And I am going to use a little lip liner with this. But I think if you're in a rush, you don't really need a lip liner. I am going to use one because once this dries, it is in place and it does not move. So it's good to really get that line sorted out, so that it looks really polished. So I'm just going to fill in this line here. And this is called Rosewood by MAC. So I'm just, it's a little bit browner than this lipstick. You get like pinky plum more than raspberry. It's just what was easiest to grab, honestly. I think if I went through my lip liners, I'd find one I like a little better, but when you're doing a 5-minute makeup, you're like, what do I got? What's in front of me, right? Now once this dries, it's dry, right? It's on your face. So I put a little lip balm on top of it just to keep it from feeling too dry. Which normally I put lip balm like as I'm driving away in my car. I don't, do this in front of the mirror, but I'm explaining it to you so you know you're going to need a little lip balm on it at some point. Some of you won't because you live in humid climates or hotter climates, but I live in a very dry, cold climate. So, okay, cool. Now I'm just going to do a little blush. Where's my blush brush? Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of blush, and this is Dubonnet. This is a Jane Iredale. I am foregoing bronzer or contour. We're just going to do Dubonnet. This is a really nice color. It goes well with this lipstick, and I'm just kind of generally putting it all over my cheeks as opposed to, trying to get a few colors in here and do a little bit more work. I'm just, I'm doing it as if it's a contour and then on top as well because it's got some color, and I think it really works for this. And really you don't want to put blush in just one spot. You really want to kind of dress it up a little bit. And this makes it look like you really tried, but you're just spending 5 minutes not really trying. But sometimes your boss, right, wants you to look presentable. Isn't that awful when men are like, you need to wear more makeup in Zoom meetings? Like, you just want to take a gun and like, okay, last but not least in our 5-minute makeup is a little bit of eyeshadow just to make your eyes pop out. So I'm going to use a Jane Iredale palette called Naturally Glam. I don't use this one too terribly much. I really love it, though I use it a lot just on my own. I want to use it more in videos because I think it's really cool. But it's all they all have a little bit of iridescent to them. So if you don't like iridescent or you feel like your skin on your lids is too dry to wear iridescent, this isn't the palette for you. But if you have normal or oily lids like I do, I would say this is great. Like the color arrangements are just beautiful. You've got a gold, kind of a nice bronzy color, a pink, and then a lovely brown. I'm going to use these two colors right here. Okay, so first off, we're going to take the pink shade. I'm going to take this brush, and I'm just going to tap it. I'm going to put it all over my lid. And I think if you use a soft brush, it's not going to put a heavy amount all over your lid. A lot of wearing frosts is just having a soft hand. You don't want to like really put a lot on as if it's a matte eyeshadow. But isn't that pretty? It's just a really nice pink. So I think that's lovely. And it just highlights exactly where I want. I don't take it all the way up because then it can look a little bit garish. And then I'm going to just take this slanted brush here. Love slanted brushes. If you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one. And I'm going to take the dark brown in this palette, and I'm just going to put it right next to my lashes. Now, for some of you, this might feel like, okay, this is too much work for a 5-minute makeup, doing a little bit of a liner. You might just put mascara on right now and call it a day. But liner, just especially on the top of your eye, is really, like, look how much that made my eye pop out. Just simple little line like that. And when you're using shadow, it doesn't have to be exact because it's shadow. It just kind of blends in there. It's nice. So I love that. And if you want to, you can take and put a little bit underneath. It depends on what makes your eyes pop out. For me, it's that line over the top. That really does it for me. But if you want to pull it a little bit more underneath, you can go ahead, just depending on your eye. So I think that's nice. And then also if you've got a second and you want to just blend that line in a little bit, that works too. Just that outer edge just to soften it up a little bit. It's just a little trick, but look, that's super pretty, right? Very simple. Just kind of lightly highlighted my eye area. We'll do the other one. Now both eyes are done, and I'm going to plop a little bit of mascara. This is Maybelline Great Lash. $5 at your local drugstore. Great mascara, works great. Be sure you change out your mascara about once every 3 months, 3 to 6 months maximum, because it gets all kinds of little germy bits in here and it gets clunky. You don't want that. You could put this on upper and lower, just the upper. It's up to you. I tend to, on me, just really like to do the upper lashes. I feel like these are, on me, it just my eye shape that really pops it, but some of you do need a little on the lower. On me, if I put it on the lower, it tends to just bleed, no matter what. I've tried waterproof everything, so I tend to stick with it just on the upper. Okay, so that is my 5 minute makeup. Now, if you put hair in there as well, obviously that's going to take you a little bit longer. I flat ironed my hair today earlier. Actually, I think I did it yesterday or the day before. My hair can last like 3 days without being washed, 3 or 4 days, right around there. So that's what I do. I tend to do this at night or like on the weekend so that I only have to wash my hair once in the middle of the week. I don't know if you do these kinds of things, but it just makes it easier, right? So that in the morning when I have to be up and out, I can take care of it really quickly. Got a hair on my lip. Anyway, I think this is really simple, right? It's very simple, all with a very similar color theme, a nice kind of rosy raspberry color theme. But I've got color in my skin, which is really important for Zoom because the computer tends to really drown you out, right? It tends to have too much blue light in it. So we need some color on our face. But this is also like if you just have to go out and you want to look, halfway decent, this is the 5 minute makeup for lazy people like me. All right. I hope this has been helpful. Hope you all are doing really well. Please write down below your comments and thoughts. I always love to hear from all of you. I hope you're doing great and take care of yourself.